Hello everybody, my name is Richard Vigorelli and this is Vigorelli Institute and I'm going to do that. There we go, that's better. Anyway, I watched a show a while back. It's on streaming service, one of the free ones. I want to say Freebie? That sounds right. Anyway, now the show came out a while ago. Back when I was in high school, in fact, so this is late 90s, early noughts. I've spoken of it briefly here on my channel. That show is called Alias. Okay, it is a primetime drama centering around a very beautiful female super spy. Okay, her name is Sydney Bristow. Okay, and she lives in Los Angeles, because of course she does. Now, this came out at a time before woke was really a well-known thing, okay? Certain, and I forgot to do something. I'm going to do it right now. Mute my phone just because somebody might want to talk to me about my car insurance. Anyway. It was on ABC. Okay, which back then had recently been purchased by Disney. So Disney is using ABC as a means of getting various content out there. See, back then we didn't call it content, we called it programming. Yeah, get to that. Now, the content that they would put out would be, dramas, comedies, etc. They all kind of focused around a few themes, okay? It was kind of the forerunner of what today we call woke, okay? So Sydney is extremely beautiful, very, very smart, and she's good at just about everything, okay? Nowadays we call it a Mary Sue. Back then, nobody really knew that term. I sure didn't, okay? I liked watching the show because, well, she was hot. And the stories were, vaguely interesting, especially to a high school boy that was in Utah and really didn't venture outside the state very often, so he really didn't have a whole lot of experience, okay? So what happened was, I remember watching this, and as the series went on, it became ever more contrived, okay? And it was produced and directed by a guy who was named J.J. Abrams. I had no idea who this was, okay? I wouldn't know for a couple of decades later, okay? Well, fast forward to about 2015, 2016, okay? Long after the show had wrapped and had faded into, I guess, obscurity as far as, stuff that had been on ABC. And I'm watching the promo materials for the new Star Wars that Disney's coming out with. And back then, Disney was still really cool. Yeah, they were a bit of a juggernaut in eating things, but they were pumping out good stuff. MCU, for instance. Okay? So their Star Wars comes out, and I'm watching them going like, this doesn't feel right. Okay? Well, I'm watching the promo material, and we get this guy up there. He's got this weird hair, glasses, he's skinny, and kind of pathetic looking, and this is J.J. Abrams. Going like, well, that's weird. Well, he's an artist, they're not exactly special. So, later, after this, I realize J.J. Abrams destroys things because he has a thing called a mystery box, okay? Now, what the mystery box does is you give somebody a little bit, okay? And it's designed to create mystery, okay? The thing is, you have to know where it's leading, or mystery is dumb. Okay, and you give them a little bit, what does this mean? And you give them a little bit of information that creates a question. Okay, so later they kind of sort of answer the question but raise two more. So they answer one of these but leave this one just kind of hanging out and don't worry about it. Well, this one that they answered is a red herring. This is the one you need to worry about, and it comes back in 2 seasons later. Okay, and you're just like, what is going on? So you keep watching it, watching it, watching it to try and figure it out, or you're just like, I don't care. Okay, so see what I'm saying here. Now, back to Alias. Okay, I remember watching the very first episode a little while back, and I talked about it here on the channel, but I kind of want to do an in-depth. Okay. So the very first episode, we meet Sydney. She is in college or grad school, really pretty, and she's going to marry a guy who's a doctor. Okay, but you see, she's always popping off doing stuff, and it's driving him crazy. She works at a bank called Credit Dauphine, which is an actual bank. It's from Germany. Okay, and they've got an office there in LA. I actually know where this is, and I've seen it. Okay. So he asks her to marry him in a very audacious way. He actually kneels down in front of her and sings, Light Me Up Buttercup, okay? And begs her to marry him, and she says yes. Well, she goes to the school, and she's got a friend who's tall, skinny, got kind of dumb hair, and he's got glasses. Could this be a self-insert from a loser? Gee, I wonder. And she tells him, yeah, we're going to get married, and he cries. Okay, well, she decides to tell him the truth, that she's a spy, and he gets whacked. Okay? So, that'd be the doctor, not the skinny loser. Later on, okay, she comes to discover that her daddy is not a salesman, he's a spy, and they work for the exact same faction within the CIA. Okay, before we continue, I need to explain a couple of things to you. The stated mission of the CIA is intelligence gathering on foreign soil or operatives within American soil. Okay? They don't watch the citizenry. Okay? That's other stuff entirely. The National Security Administration, okay, watches citizens for domestic terrorism and foreign terrorism that has infiltrated to become domestic. Okay? Homeland specifically targets people who could be domestic. Okay? So, as long as we get that out of the way, so tinfoil hat people, shut up. Okay? And no, I'm not espousing anything, so shush, YouTube. All right. So, once all this comes to light, she's talking with her best friend named Francine. And, by the way, this doesn't pass the Bechdel test, because they're always talking about guys. Anyway, it's supposed to be very feminist. Doesn't pass the Bechdel. Anyway, we come to find, later on, Francine gets replaced by a surgical copy with some woman who's bat crazy. Okay? And she starts going after her, Sydney's little friend, who's, the tall, skinny guy with a massive crush on her. And he's going like, I love you. He's going like, you're a loser. Okay, they never get together. I think they kiss once and she's like, ew. No testosterone. Okay. He gets placed in witness protection program and leaves. Okay? I think he's played by Bradley Cooper, if I remember correctly. Anyhow. So, the group she works for is run by a guy named Sloan. Okay, and her dad works for him. Apparently they're best friends, but he's like desperate to take Sloan out for reasons we don't know why. And that's part of the mystery box. Okay, because Sloan, we come to find out later, I want to say season 2, season 3. Okay, he's looking for these artifacts. Okay, they're called Rimbaldis. And they were created during the Italian Renaissance, or the during the Baroque period that immediately followed. And there are all of these like really weird contraptions that do things. And they're really important. But we don't know why. But it is of utmost importance that Sydney gets them first and destroys them or blocks them away or something, because if Sloane gets them, that's bad. Why? Well, because Sloane is going to use them to destroy the world. Or something. Okay, why? Doesn't he live in the world? Well, yes, but he's powerful. And why does he need these? What do they do? Well, there's a prophecy that Rambaldi said that whoever collects all of his artifacts will be able to do something powerful. And there's also a prophecy that a guy born on a certain day in a certain place is bad. And that's Sloane. There's reasons. I need more here. More. Okay, that's how JJ's storytelling method functions. Okay? And nowadays, looking back at it, it's like watching basically the prototype of everything you see today. Okay? The bad guys are all old white people. And unless they're female. Okay? The good, and if they're white and male, and they're straight, they're totally useless. Okay? If they're a good guy, and they're male and straight, they can't be white. If they're a bad guy, they can't be anything but white. Okay? And that's terrible casting, dude. Okay? Good and evil know no color. They know no creed. There's good people and bad people in every single religion, in every single nation and tribe and color. Okay? There's no difference. Okay? All of that is superficial. And of course, he goes for it because Hollywood. Okay? So, when I was watching this again, okay, I could only go in short spurts, and I could not sit through an entire episode in one sitting. It took me months to watch this show, okay, whereas other stuff like, say, Highlander, you know, I can binge out a season in a weekend, no problem, okay, because it doesn't have all that garbage in it, okay. So, as I was watching this and looking back, I realized, and I have spoken of this before, everything that we're seeing now, especially with Disney and the other stuff, has been going on for decades. Okay? And that's about all I got to say about that. So, if you're new to the channel, like, share, subscribe, okay? Feel free to yell at me, leave a comment, it's fine. Call me names. Come on down, okay? If you would like to support me, feel free to visit my websites. They will be in the description. And you can follow me on Twitter, okay? Thank you very much. I'll be back later, guys, with something else. You take care. Bye-bye.